Hi, beloved. My name is Jocelyn Gordon. I'm the creator of Hoop Yogini and Bhakti Boogie Yoga, transformational fitness practices that take you to the best destination, yourself. Today I'm here in Bali with the super gorgeous Layla Martin, founder of the Sexy Revolution, creator of the Obelisk online program, and female sexuality expert. Yeah. You're excited, aren't you? I'm super excited. And just before the camera started rolling, you were talking about orgasm as a form of nourishment. Would you say more?
Absolutely. So what I've found is the way that our culture and a lot of women have been taught to use sex or look at sex is a lot like eating empty calories. So you're still eating, you're still taking in sexuality, but it's not feeding you, it's not fulfilling you on the deepest levels. And a lot of our, media focusing so much on appearance, so much of pornography, the Hollywood kind of fantasy life, all of that sort of feeds us chasing something in sexuality and through our sexuality and trying to be something rather than focusing on how does our own sexuality really light us up from the inside out, really make us feel totally amazing. So I focus on teaching sexual practices, teaching ways of intimacy that actually feed your body, give you energy, give you a radiance from inside so that your sexuality isn't something that you're doing for someone else or trying to put on a show. It's actually something that makes your whole life richer and more powerful.
Gosh, I want to eat that.
I have it for breakfast every morning.
Good. And how can, so often sexuality, at least in the Western world, is so associated with like partnership or having someone to explore with. How does this radiance through healthy sexuality relate to a single woman?
I love for this, the Taoist and the Tantric traditions, they actually had a whole series of spiritual practices that were all self-cultivation practices. So as a single woman, it was actually considered very important that you cultivated your own sexual energy, that you constantly had that as a way to keep you vibrant, alive, and full. Yeah, juicy, exactly. And also empowered in your relationships. So if you only allow yourself to feel sexual, to feel sexy when the right man is in your life, when the right partner is in your life, then you feel really attached to them, in fact, and you're going to be in a lot of fear of what's going to happen when you lose them. And that sets up an unhealthy relationship dynamic. You don't feel powerful, you don't feel full, you don't feel confident that you're going to be okay with or without them because you feel dependent on that person to feel sexy, to feel juicy, to feel alive. So if you spend time working on that sexy juiciness when you're single, then when you are in partnership, it's a much more empowered place to be. Not to mention, if you're cultivating that kind of sexual energy, you're going to be magnetizing, the right partners into your life anyways.
Yes, I can resonate with that. And I heard you mention like chasing, and also I heard grasping, which is a practice of my non-grasping, which is actually a yogic practice, and which relates to neither aversion or overindulgence. So finding like that healthy medium of being in the world and exploring desire without like just needy attachment. So I really appreciate what you said about cultivating in yourself so to be more present to what's there and available.
Definitely. Even on a biological level, so many women are running on empty right now. They're exhausted in their adrenals, they're not hormonally balanced and healthy, and that sets up an actual body state where you're gonna be grasping, you're gonna want sugar, you're gonna want empty entertainment, you're gonna be wanting in that way where you never feel fulfilled because your body is actually on empty, it's crying for a deeper support. So I love working with practices. Your program is one of them. The Obelisk Course that I do is another way to do it, where you actually build up your hormonal strength and so much amazing on a biological level, just power inside your body, so that you're starting from a place of goodness inside. You're starting from a place of fullness. That means when you have desires, it's like cherry on the cake rather than a desperate need to be filled.
Yeah. And the cup is overflowing because you're full.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what I share when I mentor teachers. It's really about your practice is the root of the access to like the wellspring of wisdom that exists inside of you, which can then, it just flows out wordlessly as well as through verbal transmission. So we see that metaphor over and over and over, fill your cup, fill your cup, fill your cup, and then there's just so much. You can't help but share. It just like oozes out of you. So one of the questions I presented earlier is, would you demystify Tantra?
Absolutely. So, put very simply, because it's a massive system, Tantra it's basically a science of spiritual awakening. So it looks at how can you use your body, how can you use your life, how can you use yoga, how can you use meditation to connect you with spiritual awareness. So one of the remarkable things about Tantra, and one of the ways it's so useful for women, is that it doesn't have this, that's sinful, that's good, that's bad, this is right, this is wrong, your body is not okay. It's actually an extremely accepting spiritual system. So it's willing to use food as a spiritual path, relationship as a spiritual path, dance as a spiritual path. Hula hooping is a spiritual path.
Let's be clear, hoop yogini is a spiritual path.
And that allows us to not feel like, oh, we just have this one, you know, you have to go to a church or you have to be in silence in order to have a spiritual connection. We as women know that you can spiritually connect through dance, through sex, through falling in love, that there's something there that really connects us. So Tantra is willing to use all of that. And another thing is so many of our spiritual traditions have told us the body's not okay, as women, we're not really okay. And that has left a legacy of self-hatred, insecurity, not feeling so good about ourselves. So participating in something like Tantra that says actually your imperfections make you perfect, they make you lovable, they are acceptable because it's part of all of creation. It's an empowering spiritual system. It's one that focuses a lot more on acceptance and love than on judgment and rejection. And that creates a big difference in your own body.
And again, there's like a whole stream of conversation that could come out of that, like patriarchal based religion, and like you said, or how I could say like the suppression of the feminine as divine. So this is really, and Tantra was revolutionary thousands of years ago, and it continues to be revolutionary.
Yes.
It's powerful. Meditation. And that's something we touched upon when we were giggling earlier. I'm passionate about both seated and moving meditation, and life being a meditation opportunity for presence as everything's moving. Tell us about Obelisk and orgasm as meditation, or how you practice.
Absolutely. So it's interesting. We think that we're in our bodies during sex, but very few of us are actually in our bodies. It's very common to have women checking out, going elsewhere, being in their heads, and to meditate, to ground down into your sexual experiences, to be with the sensations of sexuality, opens up this doorway of pleasure that is immense. So what I find is most women are barely scratching the surface of how much pleasure they're able to feel in sexuality, in orgasm, and that is incredibly linked to how present they can be with their own sexual sensations. So learning to meditate sexually is one of the most beautiful things you can do to transform your sexuality, to become a mind-blowing lover, and to feel really incredible in your sexuality.
A mind-blowing lover. I like it. And I don't know about you, but I'm quite sure this happens often, is being in love with anything, so everything, so that overflowing of sensation, and then you walk out and you see a flower and a tree, or your beloved, or someone just beautiful, and you live in New York, so, and dressed just like expressing themselves. How do you manage all the love, all the juice, the appreciation?
Well, this is why Tantra is a system that has tools. So it shows you how to circulate that through your body, how instead of getting overwhelmed by it, you can actually drink those feelings into your cells, into your organs, that you can use that beauty that you get from everything, that love that you get from everything, to strengthen your kidneys or your digestive system or your heart. So it's really beautiful and practical in that way.
Yeah, great. Tell us about Obelisk Course and how women around the world can experience what you just shared with us.
Absolutely. So the Obelisk Course is launching, I believe, today, May 12th, and it's only going to be open for a week this time around. And it is a 6-week program designed to show you how you can maximize that kind of pleasure and bliss inside your life. So it's a practical program that shows how through breathing, sounding, awareness, and presence, you can actually supercharge the amount of pleasure you're able to feel inside your body and the type of orgasms you're able to experience. It also works on a foundation of transforming negative sexual beliefs. So if you feel guilt, shame, insecurity around yourself sexually, you don't feel so good inside your body, it's a lot of really amazing exercises that give you skills for self-love, for feeling really powerfully loving of both yourself, your body, and your sexuality. So it's really designed to empower you to have the most amazing sexuality, like we were talking about, and really bring your body biologically up to that level where you feel full.
Thank you so much,
You're
Layla.
welcome. It was so amazing to be here.
Oh my gosh, I adore you, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to observe your path and how you've embodied this, your personal practice and this ageless wisdom to really be a gift to the women of our generation. So, thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much. I know that you are ready to feel full, empowered, juicy, and joyful. And you might feel like it's time to explore your abundance through sexuality. So if this is a yes for you, I encourage you to sign up for Layla's program. It's only open for registration for 1 week. Sign up via the registration link below. And should you have any questions, feel free to email me at contact or via contact@jocelyn.gordon.com. I'm happy to answer your questions and provide any testimonials you might require about Layla, her work, and how this program can support you in living the life of your dreams. May your practice bring you peace, and may you share this peace with the world. Namaste.